Hey everybody, what's going on? Spyrokid here, and today is going to be one historic day. I have received light of news on the Legend of Dragoon modding community that the first Legend of Dragoon Severed Chains hard mode beta will be released in just hours. Well, probably not hours, but it is supposed to be expected to be released at some point today. Thank you very much for joining us. Let me get you up to speed on what Severed Chains is, just in case you are not aware of what this is. Oh, okay, so we're at 2 viewers, that's it. I thought we stopped streaming. So, Severed Chains. This is directly from the project page, the official project page. This project reverse engineers Legend Dragoon, and it rebuilds its game engine, meant for public use. It acts like a PC port, albeit unofficial, and goes beyond the bounds of traditional emulation software. In fact, it's not emulation, because this rebuild doesn't rely on mimicking the PS1 hardware. For that reason, the game runs faster, leaner, and breakout modding capabilities. And now, the hard mode beta is expected to copy code and the stats from Psychronix's hard mode that is in the Dragoon modifier, which has been used from the past several years by myself and others for even more tougher experience, also with other features enhancements that were right from the mod. But all that is expected to be migrated all over to Severed Chains because it's easier to mod. Let's take a look at a little bit more about what Severed Chains is about. Current status. Severed Chains has been a monumental project, and after just over 2 long years, we finally released the first recommended build. We've recently had a huge influx of extra developers, 7, including Monoxide, who is writing this page. So things have really picked up. Severed Chains runs Legend Dragoon on a software render, which is slower than OpenGL planned for this year, but still works well even on older hardware. There are graphical bugs in combat, which are being addressed over time. As of April 2023, the game is completable, with exception for a rare crash with the final boss. We've also implemented with many new features like instant loading times, unlimited save slots, and full mouse support for all menus. It's good. And here are some of the pros and cons. A list of the current ways Severed Chains stands out, along with transparency on which parts still need work to reach parity with retail and standard emulation. Note that every item in the current issues column can and will be addressed in due time. So, following features, modding API, full mouse support menus, keyboard and controller input, low latency input, near 0 loading times, instant save, unlimited save slots, skip FMVs, 1 to 64 item slots, up to 9,999 soon. Wow. Optional quality of life changes, no dart, solo duo party, save anywhere, automatic additions, automatic D-attacks, quick text, automatic text advance, change combat menu color, edible game files, Dragoon XP, SP tracker, and post-battle screen, debuggers like map teleporting, start any battle at any time, choose what battle stage you want to fight on. And some of the current issues, minor graphical bugs, sound bugs, music not implemented but nearly ready. And these are some pictures here in the gallery right here. Alright. 64 items on the right. Here's the Dragoon XP, how it looks like. This is what the game looks like on the field. The debugger right here. Enemy debugger. And some type of debugger, looks like it adjusts objects on the game. And let's see, so for the future, this is a long-term project. Many things are planned for it. The exact order of these components are being made subject to change. For 2023, some of the major goals include the hardware rendering. Looks better and runs faster than our software renderer, but takes a lot more work to code. Music, much more powerful modding support, and many more. Although various mods may become available in the near future, most of our wishlist items will not be addressed until later. We like to get the core functionality in great condition first. So frequently asked questions, is this available to download and play? Yes, view the setup guide linked above in the project summary section. Is this project legal? Can I get into trouble for using it? Yes, this project is legal. The legality comes from rebuilding the game via leaked source code, whereas this project uses reverse engineered assembly code and creates a new game engine out of it. You cannot get in trouble for downloading and using the Severed Chains platform. However, your disk image files, or ROMs, must be obtained by making legal backups of a physical copy that you own. We will not provide downloads of LOD disk images. Do I need a PS1 BIOS file? No. The creator made a coding update that removed the need for BIOS entirely. Why isn't this considered emulation? The general purpose of emulators is to act as a platform that imitates the original hardware, how it works, the processing power it can use, etc. This is why, although LOD can run with many improvements through Beetle or DuckStation, it still doesn't have faster loading times, even with overkill processors and graphics cards. Rather, the Severed Chains project doesn't try to imitate the PS1 at all. This allows for many enhancements that are either not feasible or borderline impossible with standard emulation. This is the only way to play LOD with rapid load times, among other upgrades in the future. How long has this project been in development? Since December 2020. When can we expect a given feature or mod to be added? It is hard to create predictable timelines for each component of Severed Chains, as the team is very small and it's a volunteer project. You can follow the latest updates in the LOD's Discord server's modding channel, or study the issue section of our GitHub repository. And that's pretty much the main gist of Severed Chains. So, once again, the breaking news, the hard mode beta, which is entirely based off of Psychronix's hard mode from the Dragoon mod, will be ported into Severed Chains and is expected to be released at any time during the day now. And when it's released, I will bring it to you as soon as possible. I'll always be checking on the Discord servers to see if there's any updates regarding the release of this particular mod for Severed Chains. Just going to be bringing it up on my phone, that way I'll be able to keep a close eye on this. And yeah, this is expected to be pretty exciting. So, in the meantime, while we're waiting for the hardware mod to be released, we will be playing Dragon Quest XI for a little bit until this is released. And when it is, I will for sure bring it to you as soon as possible. In the meantime, let's go over our usual news headlines, starting off with AP News Minute.
This is AP News Minute. President Joe Biden believes the agreement struck with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to raise the debt ceiling is in good shape. The White House and the Speaker have days to spare before a potential government default, while trying to wrangle enough votes to pass the measure in Congress. The compromise includes spending cuts, but risks angering some lawmakers as they take a closer look at the concessions. Turkey's incumbent President Recep Tayyip Erdogan declared victory in his country's runoff election, extending his increasingly authoritarian rule into a third decade. In his first comments since the polls closed, Erdogan spoke to supporters, thanking voters for entrusting him to govern the country for the upcoming 5 years. Ukrainian officials say Kiev was subjected to the largest drone attack since the start of Russia's war, as the capital city prepared to mark the anniversary of its founding on Sunday. After the attack, President Vladimir Zelensky noted in his evening video address that almost all of the 54 drones were shot down. In a commencement speech at Colorado College, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney was met mostly with applause from students and parents. Cheney repeated her fierce criticisms of former President Donald Trump, but steered clear of talking about his 2024 re-election campaign or her own political future. Margie Zaraletta, The Associated Press, with AP News Minute.
All right, up next, in depth, Turkey's Erdogan has been declared winner of the presidential runoff election. This from CBC.
Vote counting is almost done in today's landmark presidential election runoff in Turkey. It's been a fierce contest between the current president, who is aiming to extend his 20-year rule, and an opposition leader who has pledged to roll back many of the president's sweeping changes to Turkish domestic, foreign, and economic policies. Journalist Trent Murray joins us now from Istanbul with the latest on today's vote. So, Trent, where do things stand right now?
Yeah, well, Hillary, look, I think we're getting very, very close to being able to call this race. 98% of the vote count is now in, according to the Anadolu agency, and it is a 52-48 lead for President Erdogan. I just don't see how the opposition can surmount that hill anymore, and I would imagine we are getting very close to the president himself claiming victory. We're already hearing from several of his people. His foreign minister has tweeted in the past 10 minutes the word hallelujah. His official spokesperson has tweeted a congratulatory message as well. Several world leaders already beginning to chime in. The Emir of Qatar has been commenting, again issuing a congratulatory message to Erdogan, as well as the Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban. I mean, this was always going to be quite a close race. We know that both sides have been working very hard in these final 2 weeks towards this second runoff to try and scoop up any more undecided voters or to encourage those to switch sides. But it would appear that the country tonight has gone for the continuity candidate rather than the change candidate. President Erdogan, if he does indeed claim victory, and I expect he will go on from having 20 years in power to now going for another term in office to make that 25.
Trent, why is this election so critical for Turkey?
Well, look, you know, in many ways, for a whole generation of Turkish people, particularly young and first-time voters, they have not known any other leader other than President Erdogan. He, of course, has been a controversial Iran off to its east. It's got the war in Ukraine to the north. And so despite the fact it's a strong US ally, it is a member of NATO, it also does try to be a mediator, a bit of a middleman, if you will, with the likes of Russia. And so with this expected Erdogan victory, I don't think you'll see any major changes really to that foreign policy agenda. I think moving forward, you'll see Ankara continue to try and talk to Moscow. You'll see the US continue to try and work out a basis here across the Middle East. But as I say, a huge monumental moment really for this country as President Erdogan looks set to go for another term in office for a quarter of a century. It's an extraordinarily long time for any leader, regardless of where they're from.
Trent, thank you for this. Of course, we will continue to monitor all of this for our viewers at home, but for now, we do appreciate this. That is Trent Murray reporting for us there in Istanbul.
All right, up next, in depth, Russia unleashes drone attack ahead of Kyiv Day. This from Reuters.
Russia unleashed waves of airstrikes on the Ukrainian capital overnight as it prepared to celebrate the anniversary of its founding, Kyiv Day, on Sunday. Officials called it a record drone attack on the city, the largest since the war started. Ukraine's Air Force said it downed 52 out of the 54 Iranian-made kamikaze drones. Falling debris killed a 41-year-old man, Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said, and set a 3-story warehouse on fire. Reuters witnesses said air raid alerts started soon after midnight, and some people stood on their balconies screaming insults at Russian President Vladimir Putin. With the Ukrainian counter-offensive looming 15 months into the war, Moscow has intensified airstrikes after a lull of nearly 2 months, chiefly targeting military sites and supplies. Kyiv Day marks the official founding of the city 1,541 years ago. Usually it holds street fairs, live concerts and special exhibitions, but this year's celebrations were planned on a smaller scale.
God, Putin is so annoying. Like, even though Ukraine is doing its best to protect itself, they still want to just fire at them. Alright, up next, BBC World News headlines.
Hello, this is BBC News. I'm Nakwasa Burak with the headlines. And Turkey's first ever presidential runoff election is underway as voters decide who can curb the country's rampant inflation and tackle the cost of living. The incumbent, Mr. Erdogan, is seeking to extend his rule into a third decade.
Erdogan will now remain president.
Reached an agreement in principle to raise the government debt limit and avoid a default. The president called the deal an important step forward, whilst the House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, said that there'd be historic reductions in spending and no new taxes. And the director, Justine Triet, becomes the third woman to win the prestigious Palme d'Or Prize at the Cannes Film Festival. Her French courtroom drama, Anatomy of a Fall, picked up the top prize.
Alright, up next, in depth, Egypt unearths mummification workshops. This from Reuters. This was once the site of workshops to mummify humans and animals. The discovery was unearthed in the ancient burial ground of Saqqara. Saqqara? Experts say the workshops date are as far as back as 380 to 343 BC. Tools for mummification were uncovered. And two ancient tombs were found nearby.
We found one of the most beautiful tombs here. Very, very important tomb. This guy, he used to work like a high priest for the goddess Ma'at, and also priest of god Horus, and he was the supervisor of digging canals for irrigation. And also he got the title of the chief of the writers. During our excavations, we found another tomb up there, Min Khibr Ra'a, back to the New Kingdom, 18th dynasty. We talk about 3,400 years old. Inside that tomb, we found the most beautiful statue over there, and he used to say that I used to work for the time of the King Thutmose III and Thutmose IV.
Alright, up next, on this day, May 25th, 2015. This from the Associated Press. Michael Jackson's former home, Neverland, went on sale, listed at $100 million. The 2,700-acre ranch in Santa Ynez Valley featured a train station, a 6-bedroom house, a 50-seater movie theater, and lakes. Wow, 50 seats. Jackson paid $19.5 million for the property in 1988 and rechristened it Neverland after Peter Pan's island home. He soon added a zoo and a small amusement park, which have since been removed. It was just empty for 5 years until it was sold for just $22 million, less than a quarter of the original asking price. And last but not least, today in history for May 28th. This from the Associated Press.
May 28th, 1934. A medical miracle that later turns tragic in Ontario, Canada, where the Dion quintuplets are born. Ontario's provincial government deems the girls' parents to be unfit and puts the quints in a specially built hospital. That's where the identical sisters become a money-making tourist attraction during the Great Depression. Years later, the 3 surviving quints sue Ontario's government and receive a $2.8 million settlement.
Terrible.
1908. Ian Fleming, the novelist who created the fictional British super spy James Bond, is born in London. 1972. The Duke of Windsor, the only British monarch to voluntarily relinquish the crown, dies in Paris at age 77. The former King Edward VIII abdicated the throne in order to marry Wallis Warfield Simpson, an American divorcee. 1998.
When I was meditating.
He was sleeping.
Right, and Gandhi was just a lazy little goof who slept about 18 hours a day.
In California, actor and comedian Phil Hartman is shot to death by his wife Bryn, who then kills herself. And 1957, Baseball's National League approves moving the Brooklyn Dodgers to Los Angeles and the New York Giants to San Francisco. Today in history, May 28th. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press.
And that is today's World Headlines. Stay tuned after the break. We will begin Dragon Quest XI, and once again, once the hardmode beta for Legend Dragoon Severed Chains is out, we will begin that. Don't go away. This is an exciting day. Alright, welcome back. This is the first time I've used my headlines here at the bottom of the screen here. Yeah, so once again, the breaking news is that the hardmode beta of the Severed Chains project of Legend of Dragoon will be released today. The hardmode beta of Legend of Dragoon Severed Chains will be released today at some point. It is not quite available right now, however, it's expected to be released very soon, and once that is out, I will of course be bringing that to you. In the meantime, we'll be playing Dragon Quest, and when that comes out, I will start the stream. So, let's get started on this right away. Oh yeah, last time I had to end the stream due to some technical issues. But here's what's happened so far. Having found himself in a gondola that's gone to the docks, Sil sets out to do what he can to help, and aids an embittered blacksmith called Tetsu by retrieving his beloved belongings from a band of blackguards known as the Beastly Boys. Pleased to have his knapsack back, Tetsu sets out for his hometown of Hado, but not before giving Silvendo a gift. His good deed done, the wandering wanderer resolves to set out on a quest to bring smiles back to as many people as he can, and light back to an Erdrea that's drowning in darkness. But before he can set out on his mission of mercy, he's confronted by the Beastly Boys. Far from seeking revenge, they're actually after a chance to redeem themselves, and Sil welcomes them along on his journey with open arms. And I'm planning to just go right to the Gigantes to see if we can get past that big brute.
No.
Okay. Okay, I guess we could just get the last of them to join us. Wow. Jeez. Nice.
滅の杖よ。
感謝いたします。
ご機嫌だぜ。
御霊よ、舞い戻れ。
Nice. Nice. Nice.
やりました。
Anything over here? Again. Yeah. Nice.
ジバリア。
ご無理なさらずありがとう。これでどう？
Whoops.
こういうのどうかしら。
シルビアさん。
Oops. Wow. God. Oh, nice.
やりました。
Wonder if we're already... Might as well get the rest of the people first. Okay, I'm just gonna take a little bit of break to refill my water. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Attention, tick tock, look at the time. Prediction, colors fill the skyline. Underglow, not long until night falls. Say hello, the voice of twilight calls. galleryの中で集う海の影と影は揺れゆる。笑い声が響き渡り、夢見心地な Dance with you. Traveler, hop stop from night to dark. Together, in sync we shall embark. Loosen up, life is a fun little game. Hey, head up, not one single day the same. That's all. 流れの中で集う海の影と影は揺れゆる。笑い声が響き渡り、夢見心地な Dance 心を出した気を忘れ、君と僕の仲間と最高の思い出。
Okay, a bit of an update on the hard mode beta release. Monoxide is letting everybody know that he's preparing it now. Stay tuned. I have a suggestion that the release is about to be imminent, so we'll be watching that closely.
さて行くか。
ベロニカお姉様。こういうのはどうかしら。ありがとう。
こいつだ。どう
ナイス。
だ。いい感じだ。
大勝利。ちょっと頑張りました。
Serena leveled up 3 skill points. And save up. Now, brother. Oh. Wow.
命の光よ。
感謝いたします。
無理するな。
Wow.
行くわよ。
Un poquito de benzina para tu lindo coche. Juanito el mecano está dale turno para que quede se mejor.
こういうのはどうかしら。
Un poquito de benzina para tu lindo coche. Juanito el mecano está dale turno para que quede se mejor. Para que いたまよ舞い戻れ。
シルビアさん。どうだ。どうだ。
Nice.
どうだ。
覚悟はいい？
Juanito el mecano está dale turno para que quede se mejor.
せーの。それ。
Juanito el mecano está dale turno para que quede se mejor. Jole jole.
助かった。
Nice. Woo. Eh.
私の出番ね。ベロニカお姉様、ありがとう。
覚悟はいいな。スクルト。
やれやれだ。くらえ。シルビアさん。どうだ。どうだ。
命の光よ。
ご無理なさらずありがとう。
皆に守りを。
頼もしい
手を貸すぞい。助けない。
命を再び。
デフォイン。くらえ。
無理をせず。
私の光よ。
いい感じだ。
始めましょう。任せて。油断は禁物よ。お怪我はありませんか？
さてと。神よ。
なんでしょう。
姉さんよ。
let's get that botanist on our side. Shit.
腕が鳴るの。
Fuck.
これでどう？レホイム。
命の光よ。
助かった。
Shit.
御霊よ、舞い戻れ。
ナルツネ様、ありがとう。
Jeez.
覚悟はいい？命を再び。
命の光よ。
くらえ。
なんじゃ。復活の杖よ。
助かった。ご無理なさらず。 覚悟はいい？ ザオラル。
無茶するでない。それ。
Wow.
ナルティネ様、ありがとう。
ドルクマ。それ。取れ。
Nice.
集中して。
Oh, whoops.
ホイム。
ありがとうございます。まだまだいけます。
すまんの。
お願いします。
無茶は禁物じゃ。
Nice. We have major breaking news. Hard mode beta of Legend of Dragoon is now out. As soon as we're done in this battle, we'll switch right over to it. Ow.
パワー全開。
Nice.
Yami 闇の力よ。くらえ。すまんの。ドルクモ。くらえ。
Nice.
若いマンには負けんぞ。
Crab leveled up 5 skill points. Save up. We just need to go over there so I can save. Alright, there we go. And once again, we have huge breaking news. Huge breaking news for Legend of Dragoon Severed Chains. The public beta has now been fully released. Once again, the hard mode beta of Legend of Dragoon Severed Chains has been fully released. I'm going to prepare a sign up for it. Be right back. Don't go away. I'm Spyrokid.